To Aska. So, this is a settlement building game, sort of similar to Medieval Dynasty, in that you get NPCs to help you build your village. Except it's a Viking themed game, so it's not peaceful by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, with Medieval Dynasty, you can go about your way, you can ignore bandits if you like, and yeah, that's fine if that's the sort of thing you like. You don't get that with Aska here. There's not even an option in the settings to disable what's coming in your direction, and there's going to be a lot of things, shall we say, that probably don't like you, I suspect. So yeah, it is what it is. So it's similar, but it's different. Now, one thing I do like about this is the fact that you actually get a choice of characters. So we've got the main protagonist here, Aska, but you can choose somebody else. So as you can see, you've got Aska there, and then you've got Ragnar. So there are different base stats, as you'll notice. So each one's got certain perks. So Ragnar, for example, or Ragnar, certainly seems to have better cold resistance. Aska, on the other hand, seems to have better intelligence, better perception, I'm noticing there. Ragnar, better vitality, not so good on the stamina. Hunger, ooh, Ragnar seems to be a lot more hungrier, a lot more on thirst as well. Interesting. But you've also got single player, you've also got multiplayer if you want. Now I'm going to be playing this single player. I'm going to start a new game. Now, as it's saying here, this is session 3. Because basically I've played the game, had a bit of a playthrough to get the feel for it, and I played as Aska. I then went on to session 2, the idea being to record and let you see what it's like. Except, well, let's just say certain things happen, so I've ended up wasting a lot of time as a result. These files are just too big. I can't keep backup copies, so that was a lot of hours down the toilet. And yeah, as you'll probably notice, there is no music in the background for that very reason. So lesson learned. I keep forgetting that it's a new game. Disable the music. It'll come back and bite you where it's gonna hurt. Anywho, that's enough of my rant. I want to start a new session, so I'm just gonna call this White Tea. And I've played it quite a lot with Aska. I was going to do Ragnar, so that's what I'm going to do again. So pick Ragnar and click on start. Ooh, like that. Change is inevitable. So off it goes and creates a new world. I didn't point out actually there's a seed there, so you could potentially like use the same seed as other people, and that decides, you know, like where resources and what not are on the world, for instance, because it's all going to get generated. Yeah, so you could always like copy somebody else's, for instance, if you like. So that's quite interesting. Now, one thing to point out is that when you first play the game, there's like a cinematic. After that, it just gets ignored, and all you get is what's left, which is yeah. So basically, we've ended up in a shipwreck on this island, presumably because of that thing wandering off in the other direction. So, first things first, I'm going to be picking up these little blue stones, because they are important. We will need them, because we use these to actually summon our villages, if you will. We go off to the god Odin and ask for help, basically. So, we're at a beach. That thing's now wandered off, and there's various things you can, you know, get. You can have a look around. There's things you can pick up. Now, you've got to press the Z or the Z key to see things, and it highlights certain things. So, like, unlike say Medieval Dynasty, where it kind of scales, you get better at it, and you can see more things. You can pick them out with your skills as you advance. With this, you just see everything basically. So. The other thing is it's also got a cooldown, so it sends out a kind of like a little ripple, as you'll see. Anything within that range will get highlighted as a resource. But there's a cooldown, so it's a case of you've got to wait until it's like cooldown expires. So I'm just going to go around and pick things up, because we can make tools. And I can hear a little buzzy buzz going on in the background there. We can get water, because it is a survival game. So you've got these natural water collectors, little rock pools, if you will, where you can get water from. And if you want more of these little blue stones, you've got to chop these things up with a pickaxe. You also get tutorial support to begin with. It's a bit with this wisp here, so they're telling us to basically build a simple fire. And, well, that's interesting. That if you want to build things, you press the B key. Who knew? B. B for build. Wow. It's a bit clever when you compare it with other games where they tell you to press the, I don't know, the Q key, for example. Yeah, makes life a bit easier, shall we say. But anyway, I'm going off on a wander. The reason being is we're actually on a bit of a timer. As I say, there's things out there that don't like us, including the gods. They're going to test us, basically. So the idea is we want to build a village. I'm just going to pick up this flax while we're here, because there's various things you can pick up. There's trees you've got to chop down and so on. But I want to see if I can find some reasonably flat ground to build on. I mean, it's kind of like it's a real dilemma, because I'm up against time. I really need to get started. So it's like, I mean, I can press the M key for map. That's useful. I mean, that's how far I've come already, incidentally. But yeah, it's kind of a dilemma. I want to look for things, but on the other hand, I don't want to go too far or spend too much time. So I've got a bit of food there with some berries. You might notice every so often we keep getting these little things out. Such and such favours you. In this case, it's for foraging. I'm going to press the, let's see, the J key. Gives you your journal. Then we've got all this lot here about God's favour, and it tells you about different gods, what they want you to do, and so on. So it's quite a useful tutorial in that respect. We've got like text information here that gives you information about what you can do. So you don't necessarily have to always go through the tutorial and talk to the wisp, for instance. But like I say, I've really got to get started. So I think I might just pick here, for instance. I mean, you can always rebuild. You can't pick things up and move buildings. You've got to start from scratch. That's the only downside. I'm just having a look around, because I noticed there was some water over there, which will be good, because I do need water. And it's not just me who needs it, so do the villagers. I want somewhere relatively flat, so there's another one there actually, so that would be good. What I want to try and avoid is, I mean, these stones over here, you can break these up, as it shows you can, if you've got a pickaxe, you can start breaking these up. There are other ones you cannot remove, and that's going to be a problem. I mean, this game's got I'd say it's got a pretty good terraforming option going for it. It really makes your life easy, but the only drawback is there's certain things you cannot remove. So, for instance, this big rock over here, it's permanent. You cannot remove it. So you've got to kind of like factor that in. It is possible to terraform and destroy something like them, but if I were to dig below it, it'll end up floating in the air. So you've got to be kind of careful. So first things first, I think we're just gonna get the ball rolling and press B to build. Amazing that. Click on that option there, which is for bushcraft, and click a simple fire, and that's something the Wisp suggested we do. So we're going to build a simple fire. It needs fibres need sticks, so I'm just going to plunk that down. That one's over there. Oh, crikey, I've actually got 3 wells. Oh, that's not bad, actually. Let's plug it down there. As soon as you do that, it's a case of, right, now you need to start supplying things. So it's saying we need 4 fibre, 6 twigs or sticks. And it's showing you lower down how much of those you've already contributed, so it's quite useful. And you've got you can pin recipes to the screen there by pressing Q, which is extremely useful. You can unqueue them. There's a limit as to how many you can do as well. And it'll just basically just keep replacing previous ones if you just keep adding more and more. So it's extremely useful to have. So I'm just going to do that just for the sake of example, but I'm going to teach us how to supply things. So I happen to have all of the items on me, but you can keep supplying things, you know, in small portions as we go along if you want. So now that that's done, I can hold down the E key and I can start actually set this going. So that's useful because it gives you warmth. So if you're out and about, you can warm yourself. If you press the T key, there's an option to upgrade it to a campfire, for example. You can also dismantle it if you like. I mean, if I press the B key, go back to to bushcraft, we've actually learned how to make a campfire now. So I could press campfire. It's now saying we need stones and more of these sticks. Click build, and I can actually build one of these completely somewhere else if I wanted to. Or what I could do is just, it seems just to actually upgrade this one. Just out of curiosity, I'll go back and have a chat with this. Yeah, because as they're pointing out, the problem is that particular fire that we've created, it's not going to last. And you've got to keep refueling these things, but it's only intended to be a temporary fire. What we want is a permanent campfire, so that's what I'm going to do. Is I'm just going to upgrade this rather than build a completely new one. So I'll supply those. So I need more sticks and I need stones. So I can press the Z or Z key. Have a look for things. So there's some stone over there. You see, it doesn't last particularly long, but it's good to highlight things. Then you've got these little devious rabbit-like things. They're mischievous more than anything because they steal things from you. Other things have got more nasty intent. So they're the least of my problems. But time is against me. I really need to be pressing on. I want to try and get somebody to help me out here, but I want to get that campfire going. Have we got any sticks lying around somewhere? Oh, there's some over there. Let's go and grab them. Any stones? I mean, I suppose I could start building some tools, to be honest. That would make my life easier. Because then I can start chopping trees down and get resources from them. So supply them. So I still need another 2 stones from somewhere. I know you're out there. You're out there somewhere. I don't know where, but you're out there somewhere. Nope, that's not the type of stone I'm looking for. May as well grab some of these while I'm here. Yeah, I'll grab them. I think I saw some. Oh no, it was another water. Man, there's a lot of water resources around here. And flax is extremely important. And when I say it's extremely important, it's extreme. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wolves-ish. They're kind of like wolves. They're wolfy things. They're things with fur and fangs. They're not friendly. Let me put it that way. They want to eat my bits and pieces. I'm not fond of getting my bits and pieces eaten. It's a fallen bird's nest. So that's got me some feathers and some eggs. I think it's pretty random. Sometimes all you get is feathers. But at least the egg there is something you can eat. And it is a survival game. You've got to basically keep eating things and drinking. And there's quite a lot of different things you can find out there. So you can find like raw resources, and you can cook things, and you can make it like a whole lot more interesting, should we say. Let's go and grab these. Yeah, you keep getting that little tune in the back from the wisp every time it moves. It wants to remind you there's certain things you want to be doing, and I'm aware of that. I'm trying to find a stone. Like I said, I probably should have been using it to make tools, but you know, hindsight's a wonderful thing. Yeah, because I'm going to have to go and find some more stones to make tools. So it's like, yeah. Right, let's go and pop them into there. That's to add fire. Oh, right. It does help pay attention where your mouse is pointing to, because at the moment I'm pointing to the fire. I really wanted to be pointing to the campfire. So as you can see, the building it's interesting. So it's still, you kind of like do it in stages, if you will. If you don't have all of the materials on you, you'll build it up in stages. But you don't get to see like a partial build of something. It's either just like the outline of the building, and then it's the completed version. That's it. That's all you get. Right, so I'll just finish building that. Right, so that gives me a campfire that's permanent, basically, unless I destroy it. Right, where's that little wisp gone to? Went to the menu. It's gone. Fine, it's up to you. Well, in which case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick up stones, because if I go back to the B for build, I've got choices. I can build rope, I can build stone blades, or I can do multiples of them. And then we've got certain tools. So what I do want, I want a stone pick. Now, one thing that's a bit of a pity here, and I don't know why, but I can't pin that recipe. I can pin recipes for buildings, but I can't do it for, say, tools. So that's a bit of a pain. It would have been nice to have that feature. Right. What do you suggest next? Make some rope. Well, I'm going to go in a different direction, because I need to make some tools. Let's have a look around, because I do need stone. That's one thing I find a bit weird, the way you can find like the grass suddenly rapidly grows next to you or something. It's a feature. Right, let's have a look around. Oh, incidentally, if we go into, that's the tab key. If I can find it, it's not in there. Okay, I need to go to inventory. You can see that we've got various base stats along here. So we're not really that much good at being able to fight, for instance, at this stage. And that's where it comes under, those ones come under proficiency. So we've got like 0 for melee combat. We haven't even done anything to warrant, so like your archery, for instance. We're only been doing gathering, wood harvesting and stone harvesting. You can see as you do more of these, you get better at them. So yeah, you have to spend most of your time, especially early on, just improving your efficiencies, because you're not good at anything to begin with anyway. Oh, there you are. You're back. Oh yes, I remember that. Right. Anyway, I'm supposed to be building tools, aren't I? Right. So stone blades, I don't have any. I can't build any yet because I don't have enough stone. For some strange reason, I decided to build the campfire first. Just a bit odd. I mean, I can pick up other types of food. I mean, like garlic, for example. Oh, there's a stone. Right, we'll use that and we shall build a stone blade. Actually, how many did it say we needed? We needed... Stone axe needs 1. Right, the stone pick needs 2, so I need quite a few. If I can find a few more stones, I can use the stone pickaxe. Then start chopping these up. And it's quite good at the game in that you can sort of like break things up into smaller bits. Like you get these big trees, you chop those up and you get logs, but you can then chop the logs up into things like sticks, for example. It's pretty good at being able to do that. And your villagers can do the same sort of thing. Right, what's that over there? It's more water, I suppose. Yeah, I know, I'm well aware of you. Oh, there's a small store. Right. Right, B for build. Right, I'll get those 2 done, then we'll do a stone pickaxe, which requires... Right, the pickaxe needs rope, so we should be able to make rope, because I've been gathering quite a bit of flax. Stone pickaxe. Right, stone axe is going to need... So I need some more little stones. Now, you've got a hotbar and it's automatically adding things. Certain things I just don't want it there, so I can just right click on these. Trouble is, it's just going to keep filling them. But you can drag items off your inventory onto the hotbar. It's quite a good inventory system, I must admit, because you've got like a small item inventory, a medium item inventory, and then you've got a large item, so you can carry, say, like 1 log at a time, for instance, but you can carry lots of little items or medium-sized items. So it's pretty good, that. I mean, at the moment, something made a noise. I think it's one of those crazy rabbit things. That's what I call them. Anyway, I need to head back to the base, which is over there. I mean, what you can do is you can, like, click anywhere on the map, and it'll basically give you an icon to follow on your compass up there. But you've also got your own buildings and various markers you'll find along the way to give you that direction. So it's pretty good in that respect. I mean, I suppose it depends on the play style. Some people like it, some people don't. Me, it's just I do. It just makes life so much simpler, I must admit. It's not exactly in theme with some survival games where you haven't a clue where you're going, I suppose. You've got a map, but I quite like that. I mean, I like the game to be fun to play, so I don't mind that sort of thing going on. Another thing you might notice is we're not just picking up flax here, we're actually picking up seeds. So when you pick up food, you'll get the actual food item, but you'll also get seeds from them. Because one of the things you can do in this game is farming. Just see that thing just suddenly grew. As soon as I picked that piece of a bit of garlic up, all of a sudden the plant around it just grew. That's freaky. I didn't do it with the nest, oddly enough. Let's go and try over here. Again, you've got to be careful where you're pointing your mouse. Hold down the E key. Yeah. I think something sprang up there. Right. Oh, there you go. You can see, I can actually see my own marker. It's like this big red line. While we're here, let's get a drink. Yeah, you can just about make out this red line. And that's it over there. It's bizarre. So it doesn't disappear, you've got to take it off the map. So you can just click on top of it and it'll go away. I mean, the campfire, at the moment, it's got like a little icon, little eye next to it. You notice how it's disappearing? You can't see it on the compass anymore. So that's quite cool. So I click it again, that disappears. And now it's back on the compass. So, take your pick. Oh! Just as well I've got a stone axe, because, like I said, I mean, time is not in your favour. Where did you come from? Go away! There's a big skeleton with a big sword. I'm not feeling overly confident here. Where's it gone? I mean, you could take it on if you want. I mean, if you use the right click, you kind of take a big attack. So you kind of like jump up and take a big swing. So you can do a lot more damage, possibly stun. If you use just the left mouse, you just take one swing. So it depends, and you can block with the whatever key it is. Yeah, tells me there. Use Q to block. But I'm not using weapons, you see. I'm using tools, to be fair. Right, so there's 44% fuel. Right, let's see. Have we got enough to make some more rope? I really should be getting another villager. Right, so what do we need to make a stone axe? So I need... Oh, did I not just make some rope? Right, I'll make another stone blade. That gets me a stone axe. Hang on, did I not do... But, what, when, how, who, when? Now I'm getting confused. Ah, right, one of the problems is my inventory is full. So I haven't had anything to eat. Right, I've got a lot of eggs. So you can see that my food bar's going up down there. If you eat garlic, incidentally, it says you can find it in spring, summer and autumn. But if you eat garlic, it actually heals you, which is good. Now I've got all of these flax seeds at the minute, which I don't need, so I'm going to press the X key and I'm just going to drop these for now. Because I can't do anything with them. So they just end up in a little pile over there. Now, seeing I don't have... Don't put them in the hotbar. I don't want them in the hotbar. I'm going to go and have a look for a big stone. Like I said, these ones here, you can't do anything with them, which is a shame. It'd be really good if you could remove them. But for whatever reason, I want to do that. Oh, actually, while we're here, I may as well harvest this one. I do like this ability to hold like the R key down to harvest things, or hold down the E key to interact with things rather than to keep pressing like mouse buttons. I find that, I don't know why, it just seems to be a bit better. Yeah, I'm finding that a lot better than having to keep like a mouse button held down. Anywho, I'm just going to wait for him to chop this up. So this one will give us these more of these little blue stones. Chopping, jolting, jolting, whatever they are. The blue stones. Let's put it that way. The blue stones, and they're important. And you do get injuries at work every now and again. So if you're chopping up stones, if you're chopping down trees, they can do you damage. Fortunately, or at the moment, I mean, the game hasn't been out that long, to be fair. It's still in early access. That's a case of things might change, but at the moment, if you chop down a tree, as far as I've seen, it doesn't kill you, unlike say Medieval Dynasty. And you can either pick up an individual item with the E key, or you can hold down the T key, and it'll pick up similar item, well, the same items. So if you've got like, several of those, it'll pick them all up. Now, this is something I keep forgetting. Right, so I need to pick up these stones. So hold the T key down, it's picked up 10 small stones. So in that case, I'm going to make a stone axe. So I need a stone blade. I'll make some rope, it seems, because I don't have any. Where did that... What? Ah. Yes, that's why. Fudgesicles. I've got too many things in my pockets. Grr. Right, I'm going to drop that. I'm going to have to make some storage then. Right, that might explain a lot of things. So press the Z Z key. Pick that back up again. Right, so I should have all the things I need to make that now, should we? Right. Now, a wooden hoe. Everybody needs a hoe in order to be able to do that. So, to make a hoe, I need 2 stone. So I can't tell it this to make multiple items. I've just got to keep pressing the crafting button. Let's see, where was I? Let's go back to that. Make one hoe. Pick these back up again. So these things are big items. So I can only carry one at a time. For instance. So you can get logs, you can get stones. So I'm just going to dump that over there, press the E key, that dumps out on the floor. Where's the wisp gone? Was a wisp? Somebody's run off with the wisp. The wisp is no longer around for some strange reason. In any case, what I want to do is, at the moment, there's only certain things I can do. I mean, there's all these different tools we can make. I mean, we can make a water pouch, simple fire, campfire, we can make shelter, rain collector. But you'll find that certain things are grayed out. In fact, there's a lot of things grayed out when you start. I mean, if I select water well, for example, it says you've got to build a rain collector first. Even though you don't actually convert a rain collector into a water well, you have to learn how to make a rain collector before you can know how to make a water well. It's the same as like lights. If I want to make a stone lantern, I've got to learn how to make a flimsy torch plus a workshop hood. Defenses, I can make all of these tools. Sorry, with defenses I can't make any of these yet, but with the tools, these are the tools that I can make. And you can make more tools in, as you're building all these buildings, they can all do different things. Now, one thing I want to do, it says the Eye of Odin is something I need, but I can't do that until I've built a shelter. And our friendly little wisp has turned up, so let's go and have a chat with them. Yep, and they're suggesting go and build a shelter, so we'll go and do that. Keep pressing the Q key. I'm just too used to doing that. Right, before I do anything though, I want to start. I mean, there's something I've learned in this game is to flatten things out. If you don't, you're gonna end up spending a long time. So the maximum we can do is about 5 by 5. You can do different sizes if you want. It looks like 25 cells in total is the limit. And basically what you do is you've got these directional arrows, you've got like a front facing you at your Y and your X axis, if you will. And you can rotate those around with the Q and the E key. Once you've picked what direction you want to be going in, just click with the left mouse button, then drag it out until you've got the size you want. Click again. Now, what's really interesting, I didn't really notice this until early on because I don't pay attention, to be honest. It's actually saying you can rotate. So if you hold like the E key or the Q key, you can see I can rotate this around, which is, it's actually quite good, I must admit. And yeah, I'm just going to pick that. Then once you've decided what you're going to do, you just do your final confirmation by clicking N to confirm it. Now, to then actually flatten this, as it says you need a hoe. So one interesting thing I like about the game is it automatically starts picking your tools. So as you see, I mean, I just pressed the E key and it automatically picked the hoe. So even though I had something else in my hand at the time, it just automatically picked it out. So that's pretty cool, that, I must admit. So you don't necessarily have to have that on your hotbar, for instance. And there's a lot of things you can put on your hotbar. It's not one of those where you've got like multiple hotbars where you can alternate between them. For instance, it's just, you know, 1 to 0, which is a bit more simpler. But that ability where it automatically picks the tools, it's pretty good there. I really like that feature. Because to me, I think it probably makes more sense to keep things like weapons, healing foods. As far as I'm aware, you don't have things like bandages. You get your health back mainly by eating food, so that's pretty good. I do like that. Right, terrain. Just pick out somewhere else. So if I go in that direction, let's say I pick that point there. Now you can see the certain areas have gone red. It won't touch them, and that's because they've already been taken over, if you will, by, like in this case, the campfire. We can't touch anything in that area, which is fine. It's just something you need to bear in mind. So it makes sense to try and really just flatten things out and then do your building afterwards. As far as I'm aware, you'll get some resources back if you like destroy things, but you won't get all of them, and you can't move something that you've built. All you can do is just build it and then upgrade it. And if you want, you can destroy it, but you can't, you know, take it apart and then rebuild it. That's not an option, unfortunately. It's not that big of a deal, to be honest. I mean, that area was pretty flat anyway, so I wasn't too fussed. And you don't necessarily have to do the entire leveling if you want. See, there's a T option to dismantle. And what you can do is you can pin this if you want to follow its progress. And it does it literally from start to scratch. So you can actually place a building on the ground to be built. And if it needs any terraforming, it will show you the terraforming progress that's being done. And then once it's done that, it'll then show you, right, this is what you need to do to get the building to this stage. It's pretty progressive. I like it. I do like it a lot. It's very, very useful. What's not useful is the fact that I'm running out of food. Right, so I'm just going to keep eating these eggs. I should really take advantage of the berries, because the berries provide you with food, not a lot, mostly water. But you might notice that there's a durability on them. In other words, they will actually rot. So that's something to bear in mind. These items here, because they're left lying on the floor, will also rot as well. So these are things you need to factor in. But what I really need to get on with is building a shelter, don't I? So I think for now I'm just going to dump that here. So these are, I mean, they're not a bad place to start off with. So I'm going to build that. Now I have to, so just to show you, if I pin that, you can see it's saying we're 45 to 50% up, 75% progress. Now it's saying, right, you need 2 logs. So I do find that extremely useful. Now I'm just going to put the actual pickaxe in my hand. If I go over to, say, this tree here, it's saying I can't harvest this type of tree. I need better tools to do it, so I need to find a littler tree. So that's a young fir. So I can chop that down. So if I hold down the R key, it swaps over to the axe. Oh, this is not good. Go away. Seriously, go away. I think I must be near a spawn point or something. I might have picked probably the worst place yet. See if I can do anything with that. Ooh, that's got quite the advantage over me. And you can press the shift key to roll. So you can sometimes stun. I mean, I'm using tools, not weapons, bear in mind. Once I get weapons, I should be able to do better. That's something I need to bear in mind. So there, I've knocked it down, for instance. You keep swinging, mate. The only drawback with using the heavy attack is it'll use up my stamina. Now, what you can do is break these things up, but as it says, to do that I need a hammer. And I've lost the plot because I was chopping a tree down. So I'll leave that. Incidentally, at the moment, at least at this moment in time, those things don't despawn. They don't break up. I'm a bit concerned now. I'm wondering if I've built this place next to a spawn. But anyway, we've chopped a tree down. Lo and behold, you've got tree stumps. Press the Z or Z key. We've got different things. We've got these big logs, then you've got little sticks. And I like this because you can... I mean, I'm holding a log, but I can still pick things up while we're going along. So that's pretty useful, that. I really like that. But yeah, I can only carry one long stick at a time. I like that. I'm going to end up with a bed next to a skeleton. That does not give me a warm, fuzzy feeling. You can see they show up in red. All the other things, all the resources, they're showing up in yellow. Enemies, well, surprisingly showing up red. Now it's saying I need a hammer. Fine. Right, what do we need to make a hammer? A wooden hammer needs just sticks. Should make a stone knife while I'm at it. So have I got what it takes to make a stone blade? Yeah, I'll make one of them while I'm at it. I need 2 rope. I mean, I could go to that option, and that'll make 5 in one go. So that saves you a bit of time. So I'll make that. So I've got my stone axe in my hand. I'll just go up to here. E, we've got to use this time to build, instead of R, which is used for like chopping things down, it seems. But it automatically switched over to that hammer, so that was quite good. This thing over here, I'm not liking it here. So this is kind of like hit and miss. Yeah, no pun intended. The typically things like the skeletons will give you bones. I don't see you getting up. Sometimes I've seen tool and weapons, not a lot. So there's a bit, there's a big sword lying on the floor there, for instance. So we're just going to finish bashing this thing, but all we got out of it was a bunch of bones. So that's a pity. Right, so this needs some rope, some stick. So I need to go and find another fir tree. There's a little one over there. Actually, did we get all of the... I don't know if we got all of the sticks from that tree, did we? Let's go pick as many sticks up as we can. What's that? That's a stick. So that T option, it only picks up things within a certain radius, which kind of makes sense, I suppose. Ooh, I'm no longer feeling strong, apparently. That's a bit of a problem, isn't it? Right, keep choppity chop chopping. Chop chop. You know, we're in a hurry. Yeah, that is that a spawn point? I'm just gonna have a quick peek over here. Oh, fudgesicles. Never mind. It is what it is. Grrr. This is the trouble. I'm in a hurry. I really need to get this like things moving. It's like I don't have time to like spend, you know, exploring. Once we start getting some people, it'll probably get a bit better. But for now, I'm kind of like really keen to get the ball rolling, shall we say? So I still need more sticks. Now, that there, and assuming I can remember where I chopped that tree down. Oh, that was the wisp again. Well, that's flax. Was there a stick there? What are these ones? More sticks. Right, we've got enough. And it, we're only at stage 2 of 3 here as well, but bear in mind there's like a lot of work goes into building things. Oh, we're running out of stamina. Nearly there. Now we need 8 bark. Right, so I'm going to dump all the bark that we've got in there, and then we'll get on with building that part. And that should get us... Oh dear, I sustained an injury. I better record that in the registry. Yeah, Ragnar was injured while building a house. Right, so what you can do is... Well, not surprising, you can go to sleep. Now, part of the reason, probably the main reason I'd say for going to sleep actually, is the fact that we'll get a buff. Once it finishes, we'll get a buff for doing this. It doesn't, the game doesn't like speed up time or anything, which makes sense because it's a like single player, multiplayer game. And you will get a bit of health back from that, but not a lot, to be honest. If you come over to here though, if you have a look at this, it says your stamina will replenish quicker. So there's always a good reason for going to sleep, at least to get that stamina buff, but not so much for the healing. Anywho, now that we've built that, our little wisp friend's disappeared. So what I want to do is, I mean, I've got access to more things now. So we've got tools. Interestingly, what I should do is get a club. So that needs resin. And there was some resin because we chopped trees down. Over here. Actually, let's grab some water while we're at it. Oh, there's an onion there as well. So onions and garlic, even in their raw format, will give you health back. So I click on that. Gives you a bit of like health. So that's quite good. Now where is the resin? Because I'll have left that lying around. There's some resin. Except my inventory. My pockets are full. This is no good. I'm going to have to drop things on the floor again, aren't I? Oh, there's some rope there. See, look at all these wonderful things we're leaving lying around on the floor. There's a blade there. There's a rope there. So I'm going to have to drop more things. Now that's gone red, which makes me think if I eat this, it's going to make me ill. Possibly. You're feeling sick. Blah. Bad eggs. On the plus side, I mean, at least it empties my pocket. So yeah, so it's not doing me any favours, that, I must admit, but let's pick that up, that up. Right, we've got them then. Right, since I have that, I need another 3 sticks. Oh, what am there? I need 3 sticks. Well, that got me 2. So you can get sticks from these dwarf spruce, and you can get sticks from chopping down the trees. I mean, just take your pick. But I am going to build myself now. There's a choice. You can get a flimsy club, or you can get a spiked one. So that one does 4 to 5 damage. That one does 5 to 6. Because I've got the bones, I'm inclined to probably go with that one. I think that one will be better. The shield needs bark. And then you can build yourself a bow plus some arrows, which is where the feathers come in useful. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that over there. It literally swaps things over in the hotbar, which is quite cool. So I'm going to take these out of my hotbar because I don't need them in the hotbar. Because I don't need to swap. Right. Heart of a settlement. Quench our thirst and swiffen our blows. What we're supposed to be building here? I'm assuming it's that. Yeah, I'm assuming it wants the altar. 0 logs, 2 large stone. Yeah, two large stone. Yeah, I think that's what it was after. That's what I was going to build anyway, to be fair. Right, so I'm going to plunk that down. Let's do a bit of the clearing of the area first. I'm going to have to be careful that I don't take anything useful out if I can help it. And you can also run into problems where you can't build over anything where it's... Well, you can't build over a piece of land if there's something on top of it. So like if you've got like a log, large stones in the way, it's like, no, you can't do that. It's a bit bizarre that. I mean, you might notice in the hotbar, all these things I'm using are getting added into the hotbar. So unless your hotbar is full, it just keeps adding them in anyway. It's like, you seem to use that often. Maybe we should put it in your hotbar. It's like, I don't need to though. Stop doing this. I don't know if I can lock the hotbar. That would be useful. I don't know if I haven't noticed a way to do it. And sometimes when you do these terraforming things, it can take a few passes, but it is a really good one I've found, because it's typically what you do is you pick either the lowest point or the highest point. Basically, the first cell that you start at is the height that you want everything else at. And it's very, very simple to do. It's a really good one I've found compared to a few ones I've seen in games. This is a good terraforming system, I'll say that. Again, I'll just have to be a bit careful I don't destroy anything I want to keep. So I don't want to do too much because time is against me, and I really need to start getting people helping me. I mean, I've got enough of those little blue stones to get one person. And what I have to bear in mind is that you kind of put these stones into the altar once you create it. And it does take a bit of a while before that person will show up. So it helps, I think, to sort of kind of pace things, to like get somebody summoned and then start making sure you've got plenty of stones for the next person while you're waiting, because you can't like summon one person then throw in some more stones to summon somebody else and so on. It just doesn't work like that. It's all done sequentially. Right, so now that I've done that, I'll stop pressing the B key, the Q key. Press the B key, which is what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to plunk that down, see, because why not? Right. Level the ground. I need a large stone. No, I don't need a large stone. I thought I needed a large stone. So I need two logs. In which case I better chop these things down, don't I? And 3 little stones. So that's got 2 stages to it then. Yeah, as far as I'm aware, it's kind of like, it's similar to Medieval Dynasty, where you basically you cut down the tree, then you've got to break it up after that. But I haven't seen any damage if you get hit by them. It's like if a tree falls on top of you, it doesn't really seem to matter. Whereas if you're playing Medieval Dynasty, yeah, that's it. It's, if you get hit by a tree when it's falling, that's it. It's game over, literally. It's like, that's the end of your dynasty. You died. We're here, aren't we? Right, let's plunk that there. So there should be another log in there. In fact, get the mouse pointing in the right direction. It'll let me pick it up. I mean, what I could do, for instance, I can actually like chop that log into smaller bits if I wanted to. It's the same as that large stone. I can actually chop that big stone into little stones, so it's pretty good. If there's a certain thing that you're in a rush to get, for instance, I suppose. I sworn there was a stick over here. I'm just trying to find it. I need another 2. Is there any... Oh, there's a fir. Yeah, it's a dwarf spruce there. So I'll get... I think it varies. I mean, that got me 2. There's another one over there. Right, there's a big stone over here, so I think we may as well chop that down while we're at it. So that's just a normal stone. Should have been really looking for the ones with blue stones in there. So I need 3 little stones. Hang on. Oh, Wisp Friend's back again, it seems. Choppity chopping. Oh, that'll do. That'll do for now. Right, that should get stage 2 done. Because I really want to get this ball rolling. I can't carry anymore. Let's dump it in there. They just hammer away. Oh, looks like my buff. My buff ran out. May as well get that back. I mean, why not? Doesn't take long. It should be better for the stamina. But in terms of location, I'm not too far from the water. Yes, we're now fully energized. And there's a way to actually do fishing in this game, so it kind of makes sense to me. I suppose not too far from the water. Although, yeah. There you go. So, yeah, we're not too far from the water, so that's good. But there's no like rule that says you've got to have a village and that's it. You can build multiple little villages if you want, like, or little mini villages. It's entirely up to you, it seems. I'm sure there's a big stone there. So probably end up building a big main village and then just putting up little mini ones later on at some point. Right, let's get that built. The only thing I'm bothered about is, well, it's a bit early to be concerned about the village getting attacked, but I don't know exactly what. Because I think they tend to like target something like this, for instance. But the concern would be if you've got like a little mini village on the little coast here, where you're doing like fishing. I'm a bit concerned if you've got like houses and what have you over there, or just all of the buildings to do things over there, if that'll get attacked, because then that means more defense. It's yeah, there's a lot goes into this. Right, open storage. So I want to put these in there. Now I'm going to click on activate, and I've got a choice of 2 people here. Jonte maybe, or Rolf, I'm assuming. Each of those have got perks, but you only get to see the 2 of them. The rest I think the rest are just randomized, so we won't find those out until we pick someone. So I'm just going to look for somebody who ideally doesn't have negative perks. So they're good with the rain. They do get thirsty quicker. Rolf, on the other hand, well, he's got this perk of Stonebreaker, so he's good for breaking up stone. He has more strength, although he'll eat more. So I think I might go for Rolf, because that sounds a bit more beneficial, because he's got a perk for mining stone. So now, yeah, you've got to then wait 10 minutes, basically, before that villager turns up, which then gives me an incentive to then go and chop up more of these little stones that have got the blood rocks in them. Now, all of these things have got, I mean, all of your tools, they've got like a durability on them. So it's a case of at some point they're going to break and then you're going to have to replace them. And there's each each tool can only do certain things. Like, I mean, I've got a stone axe to do for like the young fir here, but it's no use for the bigger trees. I'd need a better tool to be able to chop those down. And then you get into the birch trees as well. You can't take down birch trees until you get even better tools. So it's like you go from these little fir trees to the bigger cedar trees that you are, then to the birch trees. So it's yeah, there's a lot of grinding going to be in this game, but I don't mind. It's, you know, it kind of makes sense because it's all about like survival. It's not that bad, I'd say, compared to some games I've played. I mean, with some games it just takes you a long time to get anywhere. This one's, yeah, it's pretty straightforward. It didn't take me that long to get right away to the point when my village was all built, for instance. It didn't seem to be much left to do other than getting into the bigger parts of the game. Right, so how many of these have I got? I've got 4. I think there was a one. Oh, that's the wisp. There's one over here. Nope, don't have any water there. I'll just grab that one, and then when that person turns up, I've then got enough of these actual slotted stones here to then sew on the next one. And the good thing is, once that person turns up, I can actually use them to help me do more building, basically. So you can assign them to do specific tasks, but you've got to build certain buildings to be able to do certain things, to craft things, and so on. But they all start off as just builders, so as soon as they turn up, they'll have certain tools as well, so they'll be able to do like a terraforming for you. Yeah, they usually do have a hammer as well, so they'll be able to build any buildings that you want. So it's quite good in that you can put down the blueprint, if you will, on the ground, and then as long as they can find the resources for you, they'll then go off and build it. But it depends. Oh, that's the wisp. I wonder what that was. I can hear one of those pesky rabbits or whatever they are in the background. Yeah, it's the wisp. Right, so I've got enough of them. Now I have got the wonderful responsibility of looking after these people when they turn up. So we're going to have to find food. I've got to make sure they've got plenty of food. I've got to make sure that they've got somewhere to live. So the first person to turn up, we'll put them in there. But then we can just keep building more and more places for these folks. Ooh, we're no longer healing. But in terms of where we're at now, I mean, because we've put down a shelter there, because we've got the camp, because we've got his Eye of Odin to attract people across, we can start making other things. So we've got access to, well, that was the only thing we've got access to there. There's all these other holders you can set up, but what we can now do is we can start setting up a woodcutter's hut to chop down the trees and collect wood, a stone cutter's hut to go and gather stone, a gatherer's pit where they can go out and gather well, whatever food they can find, any roots, any vegetables, berries, that sort of stuff. All the other types of things, well, these are the upgraded versions. I mean, there's a fisherman's hut you can build, but it says there you've got to have a woodcutter's pit and a gatherer's hut. So that's like tier 2, which is interesting. If you want the hunter's hut, you need a gatherer's hut. So that's another tier 2 requirement, it seems. Then we've got markers, so you can start setting up markers for people, because they've got like a certain range. Once you put these buildings down, there's a certain range they can cover to do things, and then after a while they'll start whinging and complaining that there's nowhere to find any more food within range. So it's a case of you've got to set up markers to tell them there is going to be quite a bit of micromanagement, let's put it that way, to begin with. But then we start opening up much more interesting things of being able to do farming, cooking, being able to make iron. We can start setting up better houses, storage things. This gets really complicated, I must admit, because you start. Yeah, I'll probably have to cover that in another episode. But you're into modules and all sorts. You've got decorations that you can set up. You can. There's a lot you can do. Let's put it that way. Defenses. You can even go and tame a dog if you want. There's a lot to do. I mean, it's only early access, this game. It's only recently came out. It's got a good sized map, I'd say. It's all randomized. But yeah, it's definitely interesting, put it that way, and it's yeah, it's going to be a lot to do, and we've only got a certain amount of time to get really going. And of course, that's all for another episode.